Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rocha Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Aharawan, Banya Sharala of the Lions Den Camp, here in Jacksonville, Florida. Shalom to the sincere Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Harab, Ban Yasharala, coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala here in Jacksonville, Florida. Today I'll be coming out of the lesson, and it's on this latest lesson, Salakia. It's on this article here. And, Salakia, real quick. It's on this article here, and it says Trump team looking to create squad of 600 soldiers ready to deploy at a moment's notice to quash civil unrest. And they're doing this administration is doing that because they know that civil unrest is on the way. It is going to happen. And this is just my opinion, though. You know, I'm speaking, you know, as you know, ICE. So it was a template for that. Because what did it cause when this devil started afflicting Jake, Northern Kingdom, the Latinos? What happened? After a while, Jake started rioting, and civil unrest began to happen. So, with this right here, this is just another, we'll say, device that the devil can turn and use to cause hurt, harm, and danger to the populace. So without further ado, I'm going to read a little bit of this article, but I'm going to play this little excerpt right here. Hopefully it don't knock off the screen recorder, but I'm going to play this little bit right here, and then I'm going to read a little bit of this article, and I'm going to get a couple of scriptures and end it.
Is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia. The murder rate in Washington today is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia, Mexico City, some of the places that you hear about as being the worst places on earth, much higher. This is much higher. The number of car thefts has doubled over the past 5 years, and the number of carjackings has more than tripled. Murders in 2023 reached the highest rate probably ever. They say 25 years, but they don't know what that means because it just goes back 25 years. Can't be worse. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it. And just like we did on our southern border, nobody comes to our southern border anymore. 3 months in a row, we had zero. I don't know if that's right, but the people that do the work.
All right, that's enough of that. He's starting to ramble. You know how this devil do. Real quick, as you can see, he said Washington now is filled with gangs and just all manner of wickedness that he said. So real quick, and of course, those are just very damaging words. Very deceptive words that he's going to use as an excuse to pretty much use force on the populace here in Babylon, America. This is Psalms 52, verse 2. This is, thy tongue deviseth mischiefs, like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. So this devil, his tongue is always devising mischiefs, just things that causes problems. But like a sharp razor working deceitfully, and this devil's tongue is like a sharp razor; it works deceitfully. He uses all kind of manner of damaging and destroying words, as he used in this excerpt. But that's how this devil does. So let's get a little bit of this article, and then I'm gonna get a couple of more scriptures. It says the Trump administration is considering plans to create a squad of National Guard soldiers who would be ready to deploy into the U.S. cities, or should I say who would be ready to deploy into U.S. cities to tackle civil unrest, according to a report. And the truth of the matter is, this devil is going to weaponize his militia or his military or whatever terminology you want to use against the people. But civil unrest is going to come, and this is why this devil is preparing. This is what Babylon America is preparing for, because they know that civil unrest is going to happen with the inflation and then hyperinflation and things going the way it's going, and then also ICE adding fuel to the fire. That's going to cause civil unrest. And these devils know that. But eventually they're going to use these same forces that they have at their disposal under the guise of we're trying to keep civil unrest at bay and everything and everyone protected. Eventually they're going to just turn these fools loose. Whatever their plan is, they're going to turn it loose on the populace, and it's going to be a lot of problems. This is what's going to cause a lot more problems here in Babylon America. But let's continue. Let's read a little bit more of this. It says, as part of the Domestic Civil Disturbance Quick Reaction Force, troops would be equipped with weapons and riot gear, ready to deploy within an hour under the proposals, which could cost hundreds of millions of dollars, according to documents reviewed by the Washington Post. So it's going to cost money anyway, which is going to cause further unrest. Domestic, it says domestic, right? I mean, they're going to be pretty much guarding the people here, coming against the people, the everyday average citizen here in Babylon, America. It says troops would be split in half, with 300 stationed at a headquarters in Alabama and 300 in Arizona, according to the newspaper. It says the plan is under consideration. Salakia. It says the plans under consideration follow President Trump's dispatch of the National Guard to the streets of Washington, D.C. in a bid to crack down on what he says is out-of-control violent crime. Trump deployed the National Guard to Los Angeles after protests flared up in June against the administration's anti-immigration agenda. So basically the government caused that. And it is what it is. That's why people started rioting, because there was unjust things that they were doing. A lot of those cats running up on people with masks over their face, they're not legit. They're just mercenaries hired. That's why it caused a protest and eventually civil unrest. And so the king of Babylon is just trying to set everything up so that when mass or major civil unrest comes, they can have some kind of whatever it is they try to control. But let's continue. It says Trump deployed the National Guard to Los Angeles after protests flared up in June against the administration's anti-immigration agenda. Los Angeles decision is now being debated in the courtroom after California Governor Gavin Newsom sued the Trump administration over the move. It says the documents were compiled by the National Guard officials as late July and early August, according to the Post. However, the earliest proposals could be created and funded in the fiscal year of 2027 through the Pentagon's traditional budgetary process, the documents reportedly said. So there you go. I ain't gonna read all of it because it gets into jargon after so long, But nonetheless, that's this devil just using his military force, and that's going to bring more grievousness upon the people. This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 5. It says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. So this devil's ways are always grievous. No matter what he does, it's always grievous. It harms or hurt or endanger whatever entity that is in contact with this devil, his ways are always grievous, meaning burdensome. But when it comes down to the judgments of the Heavenly Father, those are far above out of this devil's sight. He don't see what the Heavenly Father is doing. He doesn't know and understand that he is being controlled by the Heavenly Father. And as for his enemies, this devil, he puffeth at his enemies. He sit there and jump and be flinching at people. Well, not people, but his enemies, like, oh, you ain't gonna do nothing. That's what it means by as for enemies, he puffeth at them, meaning he come up and triumph and think ain't nothing finna happen. But nonetheless, this plan to use 600 soldiers of the National Guard, it's just more grievousness that this devil is prescribing as he does. And also, those same National Guard soldiers or whatever could easily be impersonated, just like the ICE gang. A lot of those guys were being impersonated by probably hired thugs or guns for hire, mercenaries, as if it were. You know, as the terminology is. And guess what happens? They start oppressing and afflicting the people. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with this crap. It's not going to really mitigate or bring any peaceful solution to the equation to solve the problem. It's going to cause more. This devil is going to use these same forces to come against people, especially those who stand upright for Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Last point, Isaiah 59 verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. So once this devil comes rushing in with his tomfoolery, trying to bring harm upon the people, especially Yasharallah in particular, the apple of the Lord's eye, that's when these mother hubbards are going to fear the Lord, because that's when the Lord is going to lift up that standard. The Lord is going to get angels charges over brothers, give brothers spiritual powers to protect themselves, their family, and other Akim. And this devil, when he come rushing in, that's that standard that the Lord is going to lift up, that defense. That's the standard. The Lord giving charge to his angels over brothers. Protect them brothers, protect his family. This brother gets spiritual power, so that's what's going to happen. That's going to be the standard. And guess what? It's going to cause fear in this devil and his little minions that he used, or his military forces that he's going to try and use to come against the people. When the devil comes rushing in like a flood, that's when the Lord's going to lift up that standard and protect his elect and the 1/3 and that innumerable multitude, that 1/3 of believers that believe in and on Yahushua and stand on Yahweh Yahushua and believe in the scriptures and have turned back and really serving the Lord to the best of their ability righteously in this wicked sinful kingdom. So this right here, just something I seen. This right here could just add fuel to the fire. And with that, shalom.